Set a remote VM as a compute target for AML Workbench. Looking at the documentation here, you can see there's a command I need to run that takes the IP address and the username and password of the remote VM. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to switch back into Visual Studio Code and enter the command into the terminal. I press enter. You can see straight away the remote environment's been added. It also adds two files, a compute and a run config file that we'll investigate further. The GPU needs to be explicitly enabled in the remote Docker container by adding a setting to the compute file called NVIDIA Docker and setting it to true. Next up, you'll need to replace the default base Docker image with one that's been specially prepared to support CNTK 2.2. You'll also need to replace the reference to the conda dependencies file with one that's been specially prepared with GPU versions of CNTK. See the link in the description of this video for why that's needed. Save the files. In the run config file, also set the framework to Python. And now you're ready to prepare the remote environment by running the command azml experiment prepare -c and the name of the remote environment. This is going to use our Docker configuration as well as conda dependencies files to go and set up a remote Docker environment in the data science VM. Once that's complete, you'll be ready to run your code on the remote VM. If you go down to the file you'd like to run and right click on it and select AI submit job, you might find that the new environment isn't present. So you may need to restart the Visual Studio Code environment to have it rescan for the new environment by selecting reload window from the command palette. Now when you go to AI submit job, after a quick scan, you'll see the new remote environment shows up. Clicking the command will submit the job for remote processing. The first run in this particular program, it'll download the AlexNet model, which might take a little while. And then you'll see the process running on a machine that has a Tesla K80 GPU. And hopefully the speed is a lot faster than you've experienced on your local machine. Once the run's complete, you should see the created model in the output section in AML Workbench.